Well, the bottom line is the Fed said it is time to adjust, giving the markets confirmation of a rate cut in September. Immediately, the markets went up, but as we got closer to the end of the day, that rally began to fade. Where at the top, we've already rallied close to 10% in just the last 3 weeks. And so the question is, can we have enough of a catalyst? Was the Fed's promise of a rate cut enough of a catalyst to push the markets past all-time highs and to continue to climb? Or are we more likely going to go sideways? Well, everything's going to come down to the AI story, because it was the AI story that gave strength to big tech for all of 2023 and 2024. We're going to get an update on that story this Wednesday when NVIDIA posts their earnings. Now, I've been reading, like a lot of you guys, analyst expectations for revenue, and there are some which believe that it will absolutely be a shock and awe quarter, which I don't really know. Okay, I'm not. That's not my area of specialization. I simply follow the charts, which is actually a lot easier than trying to do all that research on the fundamentals. I do keep my ear to the ground when it comes to the fundamentals and try to understand what Wall Street is predicting. But the bottom line is, once it comes to pass, then the charts will tell you where we're going next. And that's what I am trying to focus on. I'm trying to focus on the charts, and we're going to break down some hot plays, some trade alerts that I gave in the Stocks with Josh Discord, as well as trades that I'm setting up for a pop next week. I'm going to lay out the specifics. I'm going to give you guys the exact plays I'm in today. We're going to talk about crypto because Bitcoin took off. Bitcoin was performing better than a number of big tech stocks in response to what the Fed said, because crypto loves quantitative easing. They're looking for some more liquidity to go back into the marketplace. Now, we know that Bitcoin's gone sideways for 175 to 200 days. And so is this a catalyst that could push Bitcoin higher? Absolutely. And on that note, I gave a couple cryptocurrency trade alerts just within the last week, and all of them are up 20%. Those are just swing trades. I know a lot of you don't even trade the options. That's okay. In ChartGoat University, where you are learning to trade, you're learning to chart, and you're trading with other traders. It's a community. Myself and the Crown traders are giving alerts and giving updates daily, as well as dropping classes to slowly introduce you to becoming your own chart goat, the greatest of all time that you can become. That's the journey there, guys. This is the Stocks with Josh show. I appreciate you joining me today. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for just dropping a heart and saying hi in the comments section. We're going to dive into a little bit more expectation regarding the Fed here. I'm going to break that down just a hair more, and then we're going to look at some charts, and I'm going to talk to you about some hot plays and some money-making opportunities that I'm in, some risk I've taken. This is not a suggestion for you to buy, sell, or hold. And on that point, YouTube does not protect us from scammers in the comment section. They can easily use my photo and my name, and you would think that that could be easily blocked. You could think that they could, with some AI, they could provide some protection to keep people from trying to impersonate me and trying to get you to send them money. I'm never going to ask you for money, and I'm never going to offer you the opportunity for some special trade alerts or copy trading or anything like that. It's all a scam. And on that point, when you do come over and join Stocks with Josh Discord, the ChartGoat University, when you do come over and join, one of the first happy faces that's going to reach out to you in the direct messages is a scammer impersonating me. I will never reach out to you directly in the message portion of Discord. I will not reach out to you first. Now, there are people who reach out to me, and if I do some checking on them, I have befriended them. But I will never reach out to you first. And so the people that reach out to you, the minute you join, it feels like a welcoming committee, but it's not me. And none of the Crown traders will do that either. So Ertuan is one of the best. He's one of our Crown traders who provides a ton of guidance. And he's also one of the ones who is the most watchful for keeping an eye on the scammers and trying to alert and protect people. Thank you, Ertuan, for that. Thank you, Miss Mary, for the guidance that you guys give the community. Of course, Spy Lord has been crushing it this last week with his calls on the SPY, and Sniper did great as well, providing some guidance. And of course, we had a couple bangers. This morning, I did a live trade session with the VIP members, and we were able to make, in 10 minutes, off of AVGO, $100, right? Just in 10 minutes, we tracked it, we entered together as a group, and the option we chose was up 20% with a $100 payout. In 10 minutes, we took profit, called it a morning, and shortly after that, the AVGO, like a lot of things, the price collapsed. And so it was a good call to get in and to get out today. Because after that initial pump, a lot of things just slowly faded throughout the day, except for NVIDIA. And that's why we're going to cover that again today. I also think that Tesla can have a nice move. But again, we have to ask ourselves, we've already come up a lot. Is it more likely that we need more data to go higher? What data do we need? Well, I think two stories are needed right now. One, that unemployment is the problem with unemployment. It's going down and not up. And we need to know that the AI story is going to continue to give strength to big tech and the rest of the market. Then, if the Fed eased by the end of this year all of the cuts that are on the table, then we would have the true Goldilocks environment. But I'm just going to tell you going into next week that if the market doesn't continue to get affirmation on its positions each and every day, they're going to hit that sell button so fast it'll make your head spin. And so you've got to be careful if you're in any form of a swing trade, any form of a leveraged option trade. One, keep your position size small right now and wait for confirmation. What confirmation are we waiting for? Well, we're going to need to get the weekly jobless report, and we're going to need to get the earnings from NVIDIA. Those are the catalysts that I see that will move the market this next week. So let's just take a minute and talk a little bit about the Fed talk at Jackson Hole. It was interesting to see him walking with the, I believe, the Fed president from Canada and England touring the premises. And it was also interesting to note that both of those global Federal Reserve leaders have already given their countries the first rate cut. And so it was easy to imagine that perhaps they said, hey, Jay Powell, what are you waiting on? Why aren't you giving a cut? The longer he keeps that interest rate high, the stronger the dollar is against the rest of the world, which puts pressure on their money. So then, why hasn't our Fed cut? Well, he's extremely concerned about a strong economy, not a weakening economy. And we're clearly comparing the current market against the 1980s when inflation raged out of control. Now, what would cause inflation to rage out of control? And I really hope that all of you would understand this. It's government printing, okay? It's government printing of making more dollars and pushing money into the system, devaluing the dollars that are currently in the system. And so every single time you hear about a new program coming out of Washington, D.C., understand that that's the hidden tax that's going to push inflation. It's going to cause your groceries to be more expensive. It's going to cause your gas to be more expensive. And you should know that the rich do not even know what the cost of gas is at the pump. And I got a confession. I don't consider myself super rich, but I don't know how much gas costs at the pump. And the rich do not know what a gallon of milk costs at the grocery store. And I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell you that either. So be aware of the fact that inflation is the Fed's biggest concern right now. Now, what we needed from the Fed, and we got it, is that he said that he was concerned about rising unemployment, that he was going to begin to check his hawkishness against that data report and make sure that he was getting in front of it and not behind it. And that's the assurance that the market needed right now to not absolutely crash. And as a result, even though we pulled back a little bit and we don't know what next week will give us, the markets didn't crash for now. So which stocks are going to perform well? Well, a couple of them come to mind right away. Traditionally, once we get a rate cut, small cap outperforms large cap. And so we're going to be keeping our eye on IWM and TNA, which have already done extremely well coming off of their recent lows. And even if big tech were to pull back, these names might continue to go higher. I also like Tesla. Don't forget, we're moving towards Robotaxi Day here in October. It's right around the corner. That caused Tesla to pop nearly 100% in 30 days. As we get closer and closer, is Tesla going to continue to rise? We also know that Tesla is a rate-sensitive stock, and so when rates come down, Tesla stock can go higher. That's one of the things we've been waiting on in 2024 to see a higher price in Tesla. So before we get into the hot plays and before we look at NVIDIA and some other important charts, I wanted to just take you guys into a chart that you need to be laying your eyes on, and I wouldn't be a good analyst if I wasn't bringing it to your attention every once in a while, and that's the inverted yield curve. Let me just take you into that chart and show you what you need to be aware of every single day you hit the buy button on any option or stock, especially in the current environment. Let's go check out that chart. All right, in the blue, you've got the effective federal funds rate, and in the red, you've got the 10-year, 3-month Treasury yield spread. And after we had a huge inverted yield curve between the 10-year and the 3-month, it was followed by a recession, which you see marked in the gray. So you see this one in the 1990s, and then again, 2000, the dot-com era, and then again, we had the 2007 to 2009 Great Recession, and then we've got this same rush to safety right before COVID, and again, another major pullback in the market. And here we are with the final red check with one of the widest yield spreads the market has ever seen, and so we need to be aware that we will not escape a recession. This, of course, does not mean that you sell stocks and you stop investing in Wall Street, because if you had done that the last time we had an inverted yield curve right before 2020, you would have missed out on a ton of opportunity. Specifically, NVIDIA, one of the fastest growing companies, one of the most profitable stocks to hold and to swing, you would have missed that entire run. And so, no, we don't run from Wall Street on that news, but you do need to be aware that there's opportunity coming. When exactly is it coming? Well, it'll come probably 6 months after we get our first cut. It's not guaranteed that the day he cuts, the markets sell off. The markets could choose to rally because they might believe that it's a Goldilocks environment and that he's ahead of the curve. The only reason why the markets would necessarily sell off the minute he cuts is if they believe that he is behind the curve and they feel that he should have cut more or deeper. Right now, I would say the markets actually have confidence in the Fed, and in general, he seems to be doing an okay job because inflation has come down below 3% monthly, which isn't bad, and we are not facing extreme rise of unemployment. They're both needing to be watched because neither one is perfect, but investors are still interested in this market. Okay, it's time to burn through some charts. If you liked the first half, hit that like for me. It pushes the video out to more viewers. Let's go check out some hot plays. All right, I'm going to keep all of my charts simple today and all my analysis simple. Guys, next week, the goal is very similar to this week. We don't want to close beneath 124. I told you guys going into the end of this week that we needed a candle that pushed back above 124, and we got that perfectly. This week's prediction on NVIDIA was yet again 100% successful. Didn't sell any, and I'm confident and excited holding this going into next week for earnings. It doesn't mean that there's not still risk in this play. Largely, we're pretty far away from the 21 EMA. We had a pretty strong move when we broke above it, and so it is very possible. At some point, we may have to come back and bounce off of this 21 EMA before going higher. But here's the bottom line. We ended today above 124, bullish. Next week, it's very possible that we could actually open above 131 and the market could begin to climb from there, catching people by surprise. So I'll keep it very simple. Wednesday, we could already be at 134, and if they come out with incredible earnings, then the following day, it's possible that we would gap up to 140 and be at 150 by the end of the week. Just wanted you to have a potential NVIDIA prediction. Full disclosure, I'm holding NVIDIA shares as well as the January 17th, 2025 $120 calls, and I'm up 53%. They have ranged between 50 to 60% over the course of the last week. Right now, they're holding strong, and I'm holding them. Okay, the next chart up is going to be Meta, but I want to give you guys a couple interesting news stories on Meta in particular. Meta's struggling with some of the regulation on AI in the EU. Specifically, Mark Zuckerberg said that the preemptive regulation for theoretical harms will stifle AI innovation in Europe. And so we have to be aware that one of the big problems that big tech is going to run into in 2024, and Goldman Sachs warned about this at the beginning of the year, was regulation here in the States and regulation abroad. They're not making it easy for AI or crypto to grow. In addition to that, another interesting news story that came out today was that Meta has canceled their plans for their mixed reality headset. I actually took this as bullish because they're cutting costs. They're focusing on AI spending versus virtual reality spending. And I think that it just shows again that they're making the right decisions. And this is going to potentially give a little bump to the stock because we want to make sure that they are keeping their costs down because AI is going to be very, very expensive and it's going to be hard to truly bring it to market and make a ton of money with it. And so they can't pursue everything. Meta said that we're going to stop pursuing this particular virtual reality headset. Let's go check out the stock and see how it's performing right now and whether it's worth investing in. Okay, I'm going to keep my analysis of Meta very simple as well. We are in a slightly descending bullish channel. Now, support both in the channel as well as a historic level of support is at 521.50. And so we do need to be aware, that's why I've got the little froggy here, is that we could come down early part of next week and we could hit that and bounce before going higher. However, this was a pretty dramatic move down from this recent high. We have a triple top going with Meta right now, which means that if we get a breakout, I believe above 533.50, it opens up the door for Meta to go as high as 564. I want to remind you guys that Meta has been one of the strongest big tech companies as far as performance and price goes since the market turned around in the month of August. Now, what I'm expecting is at bare minimum, Monday or Tuesday, we get a back test of 530.50. This is the 21 EMA, and I'm expecting price to back test this level, giving a boost to some options that I entered. Now, let me break this down a bit more. If we do get a pump in the price and we do back test that 21 EMA on Meta, and if we get rejection, well, then we don't want to be in calls. If the price climbs back above that 21 EMA, then it means that along with NVIDIA, Meta being one of the stronger AI stories and one of the stronger growth stocks in the last 30 days, it means it could go on another big run. At bare minimum, test 533, and if we got above 533, it could go as high as 564. That's the best case scenario, but we're going to watch it from both directions, which means that if we get a breakdown, then we're going to have to switch those calls to some puts if this market simply doesn't want to go any higher and can't find a reason to go higher. The reason is going to be the AI story. The facts are going to be NVIDIA's earnings. So that's what we're watching for this upcoming week. Okay, a couple more charts before I let you go. We're going to talk crypto. I'm going to take you in a couple plays that I think are interesting and are doing very well that you guys might want an update on. I talked about them over the last week, and all they've done every day is go up, up, up. Let's go check them out. First one is CONL, Granite Shares 2X, leverage long on Coinbase. Guys, I gave this alert when it was $30.40. It was a buy. Since then, it's run up 20%. Now, we have just crossed over the 21 EMA, which is beautiful, glorious. Now, on Monday, we want to see a candle open up above 36.58, and we want to see it push past the high of day that we got here on Friday, which is right around 37.15. If we do, then we've got a nice clear path to $40. This has been a beautiful play, and if we get a nice Bitcoin pump over the weekend, it wouldn't shock me if we go straight up and hit $40 Monday or Tuesday of next week. I'm not going to dwell long on in Tesla, but since I've got the chart up, I'll simply tell you that my immediate target is 232, and we are above the 5 and the 21 EMA, and so I think we've got room to move up to at least 232 before we get into any selling pressure, and so I'm going to be in calls on Tesla up to 232. IWM, chart looks good. You guys know the routine. We're in actually a slightly bearish ascending channel, but we've broken to the top half. We call the top half the bull territory, and if on Monday morning we back test and bounce off of the middle of this channel, then I believe that we absolutely can run up to 225. Again, lower interest rates are good for small cap. All right, here's the bonk chart. And yes, I called it a buy at 00017. I was pleased to get a very large bag, and every single day it's pumped. Now today we've gotten a breakout above the 21 EMA, and we've got this God candle, this strong green candle pushing us higher. Where could we possibly go on this? Easily up to 4023. Already we have a 20% pump on this. I got a large bag of this. It wouldn't surprise me if we get another 30% out of this move. Bonk doing very, very well. Now, the other trade that I jumped into just 5 days ago was Pepe. Pepe's been the strongest meme coin performer in this current bull run, and so it's not to be ignored when we finally get a turnaround on Bitcoin, and I didn't ignore it. I also bought this very low, bought it down here right on the touch of this ascending channel, and it's been a payday. We're now up over 21%. Now we are up against the top of the channel, and so this could be an area where some may consider raising their stop loss and taking some profit. Overall, I will tell you that I'm not going to be quick to sell these coins because we bought them on a huge discount, and if Bitcoin wants to pop, these will follow and they could go up 100% from where I entered. Both of those buy alerts were given in the ChartGoat University Stocks with Josh Discord. The very minute I made the purchases, I jumped right on and let everybody know what I was getting. Guys, if you need help trading and if you need good trade alerts and you got to check out the Discord, come and join us this weekend and we'll start trading together next week. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hit the like and subscribe and the all notification bell to get the next video. We'll see you soon. Take care.